Well, we have good timing. You're here, I'm here. Let's talk about our weather story, get you into the weekend and, well, into next week. Yeah, some pretty important days now, aren't there? As we look at our wind chills into the afternoon, it's going to feel cooler today than it did yesterday. That's for sure. -10. That's the wind chill that you have to dress for in the city of Toronto. Now, into this evening, cloud cover, yes. By the way, you might see the sun today. Just a little peek of sunshine. I saw that through the morning, through the afternoon again. I know it's been about a week since we have seen the sun, so that might be just a little treat for today. Now, the city of Toronto this evening, cloud cover builds back in at -4. Now, this is a popular thing to do over the Christmas break. Hit the slopes, go skiing, head to Collingwood, and that's exactly what Kasia Badurka did today. Oh, Kasia, that looks good. You are doing a good job out there. I think better than me. I'm not the best with winter sports. No, believe it or not. Now, as we look at our weather into the afternoon, not too much to talk about throughout the GTA. No, it's going to be a cool day. Yes, the clouds will slightly break apart. It's still going to be a cloudy day, but again, the peaks of sunshine will come into play through the overnight. Again, more clouds build, but overall, high pressure is in play, and that's going to mainly be our story. Now, through Saturday and into Sunday, we could see some very light flurries, just with a trough that's moving through, but overall, not a big weather maker like possibly this. I know we've been talking a lot about a big storm headed in Christmas Eve into Christmas Day, and I've had a lot of friends asking me about this as well. The main thing we want you to take away from this is for the GTA, this is really going to be a rain story. It's going to be windy, it's going to be rainy. Yes, it will start late today, more after Christmas Eve dinner into Christmas Day, but this is not going to be bringing huge amounts of snow. So that's the main thing we want you to take away from that. Now, your historical chance at seeing a white Christmas for you in the Greater Toronto Area looks to be at about 50 to 80%. A 14-hour day on that ice storm. Started off at Pearson, of course, with all of the huge flight delays, and then we ended up just close to Acton, where the amount of ice on the trees, it really was just over the top. I'm sure a lot of you have stories to share about the ice storm as well. Now let's get into our story for this weekend. No ice storms in sight. No, things are going to be a lot calmer. Have a look at this. In towards the afternoon, we are not seeing anything in the way of active weather. Things are going to be feeling very calm. Cloud cover builds, yes. You'll see the sunshine. That's a new element in our weather story, isn't it? Now, we will be feeling the wind chill, however. This is going to be cool at -10. So temperatures today are a lot colder than what we started off this week. We started off this week at +5 on Monday. Very comfortable. So ending off back to more of those winter chills. This evening in Toronto, -4. I know, I'm sure a lot of you are going to Christmas parties tonight, so you will have to dress for the elements, but probably won't be seeing any snow or anything blocking the roads for you, let's say. Now, as we look at Saturday evening into Sunday, we could see a few light flurries throughout the GTA, but overall, a fairly clear weather story. Now, I want you to watch this. This is when a lot of moisture comes into play. Wednesday in towards Thursday, of course, Christmas Eve into Christmas Day. And I know a lot of you have been talking about this storm. What is this storm going to bring for you in the GTA? It's going to bring a lot of rain. And you know what? Dr. Doug and Emily are going to break down all of those details coming up in the Long Ranger. Okay, maybe you need some plans this weekend. There you go. Kevin Yard has just given them to you. Now, as we take a look at your weather story here throughout the GTA, not too much to talk about. As we play out this movie here, you can see we don't really have any big incoming systems for the weekend. Things are going to be fairly calm. Wind chill is going to come into play. Yes, so you will have to consider that. But overall, today's looking like a good day. You're going to see the sunshine. Yeah. Have you looked outside? Possibly some sunny breaks. I saw them this morning. Now, as we look ahead, Saturday evening, we could see a few light flurries throughout the GTA, but I want you to watch this. This is where the big system that a lot of us have been talking about, here we go. This is when it's going to come into play. That big system for Christmas Eve into Christmas Day. There's been a lot of talk about this. What kind of precipitation will it bring? Will it be very impactful? Well, for you here in the GTA, it's going to be a rain story. Mainly rain, some very gusty conditions as well, but we're not looking at a huge snow event. We'll break that down more throughout the hour. Of course, the Long Ranger will also cover all of those details for you as well. Now, this map is an interesting one here. This is your historical chance at seeing a white Christmas. So based on history, for you in the Great Lakes region, some areas to the north, 80 to 90%, down in the GTA around 50 to 80%. With our forecast, it doesn't look like we're going to be seeing a white Christmas, unfortunately. Have a look at Toronto over the next 7 days. So we see some light flurries Saturday evening into Sunday. Not a lot of accumulation there, very light. And then, look, it's mainly rain as we get into next week. This is the system, again, that had a lot of talk about that. This is going to be bringing some rain. And then it should exit Thursday into Friday as snow. But overall, we are not talking about huge amounts of snow here. It's going to enter in as rain. So think about that. Also windy conditions as well. Hamilton, same thing goes. You're up for a great weekend, and then quite active in terms of next week with that rain mixing into the snow as well. Barrie, a similar situation. Looks like on Tuesday you're going to be getting into some of that mix just a little bit further north with temperatures a touch cooler. So mixing begins for you. But again, this big sort of Santa bomb, as some people were calling it, for the GTA, this is going to be a rain story. And the anniversary of that ice storm, of course, is tomorrow. Yeah, I was out in that ice storm. I started my day off at Pearson, where flight cancellations were a huge story. We ended up in Speyside, which is just south of Acton, and it was incredible. In some ways, it was magical and beautiful to see ice take over southern Ontario, but the destruction was intense. About 20% of the tree canopy was destroyed. Now, as we look at our weather story currently into this afternoon, wind chill making it feel like -10. We're not seeing too much in the way of active weather, though. There's not really a big weather story coming into play for this weekend. We see cooler temperatures, yes, winds out of the north really driving that temperature down. In terms of seeing some flurries, maybe possible Saturday evening into Sunday, but again, we're really not seeing a big weather story this weekend. This afternoon in Toronto, -4. This evening, temperatures even cooler with that wind chill. Going to be feeling like -9, -11 in Newmarket and Oshawa. And then through Saturday, overall, clear conditions. Great timing. I'm glad you're here. We're talking about your weather today, into the weekend, and touching upon Christmas as well. Kasia Badurka will also be joining the show. But first, let's look at this. High temperatures on Thursday. Not too warm, no, but compare it to what you'll see today, well, yesterday was pretty okay. Today is going to be a lot cooler. We started off this week on Monday at around 5 degrees, and we're going to end off at -4 with a wind chill of -10. It is going to be a cool day today, but maybe perfect if you're heading to Collingwood and you want to ski or snowboard. That's exactly what Kasia Badurka did. Here she is. Kasia, that takes a lot of talent. Skiing down that hill, delivering us a great report, ending it on perfect time. 2 thumbs up there. I love it. Now, as we look at our temperature story throughout southern Ontario, a lot cooler down, into the Great Lakes. This is the trend we're going to be getting into now. No longer above seasonal like how we started off this week. So we see those darker blues, they stay right through the afternoon and into the evening. To give you some exact numbers, here we go. City of Toronto, -4 into the afternoon. Now, in terms of seeing that active weather, not really a big weather story throughout this weekend. We could see a touch of snow Saturday evening into Sunday morning, just a weak trough in the area, but we're bracing really for this. And I'm sure a lot of you have been talking about this. You've been socializing with some friends, and this has been up for discussion. The storm that is headed in Wednesday into Thursday. Well, for you in the GTA, this is going to be a big rain event. You're not going to be seeing huge amounts of snow with this. Tuesday into Wednesday, transitions over Thursday through to Friday, but overall, windy and rainy. That's what we want you to take away from that in the City of Toronto. Hamilton, same thing goes. Barrie, the snow will start a touch earlier. Okay, thanks, Chrissy. Preventing frozen pipes. It's something all of us are going to have to start thinking about as temperatures are steadily staying below zero for a lot of us right across the country. Well, I'm glad you're here. We have good timing, don't we? You're here. I'm here. We have the forecast into the weekend. It's the weekend. Happy Friday. This is a look at some temperatures throughout southern Ontario. Ending off the week definitely on a cooler note. Up to the north, temperatures are quite similar. -5s, -6s right across the board. A mix of sun and cloud. As we look at the next 3 days, so Ottawa's temperature is pretty steady. Same thing goes for Thunder Bay. But Toronto, your temperatures are actually slightly taking a little climb, which, well, hey, it's good news today. So hopefully you were able to get out and enjoy that ice. Looks perfect there. Now, freezing drizzle advisory, this is in play. This is just a trough that is trying to make its way into Ontario, but it's just moving a little slow. So that's why you are dealing with some freezing drizzle advisories throughout the afternoon. Temperature-wise, slightly warming up in Winnipeg, Brandon, same thing goes, Regina, Saskatoon. you're looking at a pretty decent weekend. Now, as we jump into BC and as we jump into Alberta, we have some snow on the way for BC, which could make travel tricky. Now, Deb is on this story. Here she is. Okay, Deb, thanks for that. And the freezing drizzle Deb was talking about in Edmonton, it's just a trough that's making its way over northern Alberta. And yeah, this could produce some messy weather. Now, let's take a nationwide look, right across the country in terms of Saturday, last Saturday before Christmas. A very stormy week on the BC coast. Heaviest amounts of rain will be falling tonight. It's above seasonal across the prairies. It's great. You're in a good forecast. Ontario and Quebec, same thing goes, even out into the Atlantic. That system is now out of Newfoundland in terms of Saturday, looking into the future here. So things are going to be great. Also nice into Sunday for the Atlantic provinces. We do have a few clippers developing in the prairies off of Alberta, which will travel through the prairies. This is going to be Sunday into Monday. And of course, that's because of all the moisture we will continue to see on the BC coast. And have a look at some of this, some of these totals. This is the system that, of course, you have been dealing with out in Atlantic Canada. And this is some of the storm totals here. Moncton, 5 hours of freezing rain. Driving was horrendous, unsafe for sure. St. John, that's a place that saw some of that mixing. So 2 centimeters of snow, 40 millimeters of rain. Now this system is still over Newfoundland. We can see that counterclockwise circular motion indicates a low pressure system that will continue to move out. And as we look at some of our wind speeds here, you can see as that low exits and high pressure moves in, while the winds are really starting to calm down. But before it's all gone, you have to just deal with this. 2 to 5 centimeters of snow through eastern portions of the Maritimes. This is going to be more of a rain story down in towards Nova Scotia. And then some areas, 25 centimeters of snow. Now, where we find a lot of snow, that's in ski country. Have a look.
All right, back to you inside.
Gosh, it looks like a fun assignment this morning, I'll say. Thanks so much for joining us. Now, as we look at this afternoon throughout southern Ontario, so Barrie, close to Collingwood there, -6, so temperatures are perfect if you are getting out on the ski hill. Up further north, temperatures don't really vary too much. Notice the squiggly line here in Geraldton, that indicates some fog, so low visibility. That's what we could be dealing with. Now, once that system moves out of Newfoundland, high pressure comes into play, and it's looking like a really good weekend from Ontario through Quebec and right in towards the Maritime provinces. Now this is what we've all been talking about, right? The Santa bomb. Well, for much of you in Ontario, this is going to be a rain story. I want you to stay with us because in the Long Ranger, they're going to break down all the details. But first, let me take you to Winnipeg. We had a trough in the area that slowly was moving into Ontario, so it brought you some of those unstable conditions. Now, in terms of the values, some of the temperatures, not too bad. We can see the freezing drizzle. Yeah, that's still happening throughout southern portions of Manitoba. And then again, the fog comes into play throughout northern Alberta as well. Now, quickly before we leave you here, we'll jump to the BC coast where temperatures are just slightly above seasonal actually along the coast, but you're bracing for another very wet week. Some of the heaviest rain will fall tonight and into Saturday. Okay, we're going to start off by showing you this. This is very creative. I like it, Jason. Jason from Thunder Bay. Your remote control car plowing the driveway. Now, in terms of the snowfall, doesn't look like you'll have to do that today. No, Rachel Schoutsen here with you. And as you look at some of the temperatures up north of the Great Lakes, fairly comfortable in terms of the temperatures for mid-December. And we're not seeing any big weather systems really coming into play. Down to the south, temperatures quite similar as well. Toronto started off this week on Monday at 5 degrees, and now -4 is the high today. So quite a big dip in terms of the temperatures. Will they rise back up? Yeah. You know they will. It's always just a constant cycle in terms of temperatures this time of year, isn't it? Now, we do have those winds right out of the north, so again, that's driving temperatures down and bringing wind chills into play. Rain to some, snow to others, some mixing, some freezing drizzle. Look at this, Moncton, 5 hours of freezing rain. That is a lot of freezing rain here. Down throughout Nova Scotia, this was mainly a rain story. You could see up into New Brunswick. Again, that's where the snow is, that freezing line. It has been quite steady. Fredericton over towards Miramichi with quite a few systems that have been coming your way. Now, as we look at some of the snowfall With this system that is leaving Newfoundland today, you could still see in some areas 15 centimeters of snow. Wind warnings are also in play along the northern peninsula of Newfoundland. Wind gusts over 90 kilometers an hour. Now, once that system's out of here, everything has departed, high pressure comes into play, and things are going to be looking great in Atlantic Canada for the weekend. Now, let's go out west. Let me show you this. A lot of Christmas things starting to end. I know, Christmas is almost here. Now, as we look at our next big weather system that's coming into play for the coast, it's going to be rain for the coast, snow for the interior, and some of the heaviest amounts of rain will fall tonight. Some of the strongest winds will be just ahead of this cold front that will move through, and this is where, on the island, well, we could see 100 millimeters of rain. And this really is the last thing that is needed after, well, the weeks and the rounds of systems that you guys have seen throughout December. So we can see really anywhere south of here, this is where you're getting into the rain, some of the heavier amounts of rain, and then north more and towards the interior into the higher elevations, this is going to be falling as snow. Some areas could see around 35 centimeters. Not the best sky over Winnipeg this afternoon. Freezing drizzle has been an issue throughout the day today. It's just as a trough lingering on a little too long, making its way into Ontario, but that's what's bringing you some of the active weather today. Now, as we look at our temperatures across the prairies, not too bad. It's cold, yes, it's mid-December, but we're not dealing with temperatures into the -20s, and I'm sure everyone is thankful for that. Up into northern Ontario, just about seasonal, down towards the south as well. Temperatures are quite similar, and this is a good idea when temperatures look like this and the sun is just peeking out to go skiing, and that's exactly what Kasia did today. Okay, Kasia, we will all look forward to that report. Yeah, so don't go anywhere. Now, I don't think she did the black diamond, just putting it out there. Now, I'll show you this. This map is interesting. It talks about the total ice cover on the Great Lakes, what we're seeing right now. So 2.4% over here on in the Georgian Bay versus what we saw last year. Last year at this time, we were almost at 17%. So that means for places like Collingwood, play as that system headed out of Ontario through Quebec, and now, well, it's for you here in the Maritime provinces. Yesterday was your big day in the Maritimes. Now it's Newfoundland's share. But the way that this system is working, it's sort of wrapping back around and bringing some precipitation back into the Maritimes. So this is where we could be seeing some rain-snow mix down into Nova Scotia, more just straight snow up and towards New Brunswick. Yeah, lots of snow for Newfoundland too. Now, as we recap some of our weather stories into this weekend, that system will leave. You're left with great conditions in Atlantic Canada. Ontario also looking good. The prairies above seasonal. Things are going to be nice for you. And then BC, a very stormy weekend. Some of the heaviest rains moving in tonight.